Hi everyone, I'm Rachael, founder of Temple Soul Healing. Happy International Women's Day. I haven't posted for a very long time. I'm sorry about that. I've just been doing my own healing, both on a personal level for about the last 3 years and professional for about the last 7. I've just completed my energy healing course. I'm now a certified Ashanti master and soon to be teacher, which I'm very, very excited about. I think I'm ready now to come back out into the world. I'm feeling a lot stronger and a lot happier and very excited to get back into my energy healing work. I wanted to talk to you today about International Women's Day. Through my study with Ashanti and as an energy healer, I look at everything in an energetic form. For those of you who have watched my other YouTube videos, that's what I'm all about. It's about teaching people about their energetic bodies. At the moment, we are seeing a huge rise in the divine feminine. And I would like to explain to you today, on International Women's Day, what that means for me. Sort of my take on what's happening in the world and with COVID, it's, for me, it all relates. I did post a video, or I recorded a video not long ago on COVID, and it interrupted in halfway through, and so whenever that happens, I see it as a sign that it's not ready to post, or people aren't ready to hear it, or whatever. And it is probably a very out there thought process to a lot of people, especially people who are not familiar with energy. But through my study as an energy healer over the last 7 years, I have been taught that our universe is made up of realms and dimensions, 12 dimensions of 4 realms. The highest dimension being love, which is what the energy from which we all emanate. Now, love, as I see it, as I believe it to be, because I've experienced through a spiritual awakening that feeling of oneness and that feeling of intense love, which is so extraordinary, it just takes your breath away. And that's what a spiritual awakening does. It just sort of, it shows you who you really are, and then you go on the quest to find out more and more and more. But the highest energy of love, from which we all emanate, is non-divisive. It doesn't have it's a blend of both the masculine and feminine. It is neither God nor goddess, but both. It's not till it comes down in the dimensions that it splits. And then you get the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And in this realm, our 3rd dimension, which is earth, you get humans. And we are either masculine or feminine. But we have both those energies within us. We have both the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Now, I have talked about my Kundalini a lot. And if you would like, the Kundalini to rise, it's a massive process and probably takes lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. Sometimes they can be spontaneous, but if not, they have to be sort of consciously worked on, and it's a big deal. But one of the things that you have to do is balance the divine feminine and masculine within. And what that does for a person, if you balance those energies, is it brings you peace and harmony and balance. So what do we mean by the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy? As I say, we have both within us, and the divine feminine energy has attributes associated with it. So the divine feminine is intuitive. She's heart-centered and compassionate. She's wise and accepting. I feel very emotional. She's forgiving, and she's collaborative, and she's reflective. As you can see, this does mean a lot to me. And I think a lot to a lot of people, because what we've come to realize is that the divine feminine energy has been suppressed for so many years. It's been abused, it's been trampled on, it's been suffocated, It's been all those things, but there is method to that madness, which I'd like to try and explain. So they're the attributes of the divine feminine within all of us. And then the divine masculine, which is also the right side of our body, is more risk-taking, more assertive, more action-orientated, has more discipline and boundaries, is confident, looks at things objectively and logically, and analyzes things. So what we have to understand is that to be peaceful and whole, the attributes of both the divine feminine and the divine masculine is of the utmost importance. Now, not only on a personal level, but on a collective level too. So I want to talk really briefly about COVID and what I believe the whole thing has been about. Years ago, when it first hit and nobody knew what it was and everyone's trying to blame someone else for, releasing things or, it's, in my view, wasn't like that at all. When I have an activation for a shati, I have it from my teacher, and it's just connecting me or fine-tuning me into an energy from higher realms that then I can use to heal. So you would have all heard of Reiki, probably. That's one of the energies, but there's so many more. And during that time, there's a 21-day integration period where I have to self-heal myself for that 21 days, just so that energies can really integrate into my being. So what I believe COVID did, I believe there was a massive surge of energy into the planet, in late 2019. And what Mother Earth had to do in order to integrate those energies is have that time of healing and that time of quietness. So I believe that's what the whole COVID thing was about. It was about the earth being silenced for a little while so that Mother Earth could heal, so that she could bring in these energies. It's an incredible time in humanity where we are able to do some things energetically which we haven't been able to do ever before. We're able to tap into higher realms and bring that energy in. That's what light workers do. They sort of open themselves up and attune themselves to get the information in. Now, through my own healing practice, if I do a healing, I'm intuitive, I get messages and stuff like that. But one day I was doing it and I kept saying to myself, it is safe for me to speak the ancient wisdom of the divine feminine, which I believe was exactly what was being brought in to the world. And the reason why it's being brought in is because we need to bring in balance, because we need peace. So if you can see what's happening in the world at the moment, the flare up in Russia, with a divine masculine, a very strong divine masculine at the helm, calling the shots. It's like these things flare up in the world so that we as individuals can see what needs rebalancing. So I think you would find that most places that have conflict are very out of balance between their divine masculine and feminine. They might have a very oppressive culture of their divine feminine, so they don't let her shine, they don't let her be. And even in themselves as a masculine, they don't let those attributes be a part of who they are. If we don't, then we have disharmony. And if we have disharmony within us, then we have disharmony outside of us, because our world is a reflection of our inner world. So if we are peaceful within, we see peace without. So that's why it's so important. That's why all these women are coming forward now. It's not, to cause trouble. As high priestesses centuries ago, it was the woman who sat in a healing temple and invited the men in to heal them through their, heart-centered way of living, their compassion, their wise knowledge of how the body works and the energy works. And even on a subconscious level, the women are rising because they realize now something has to change. In order to get the peace in our community, in our world, we need the rise of the divine feminine. We need the balance for harmony. It's like if just on a sort of very simple scale, if in a marriage there is a woman and the masculine in the form of the man is really oppressive or is abusive or, rules with an iron fist, and controls money and controls the kids and is heavy-handed or whatever. And if the woman is subservient and can't stand up for herself or for any reason, that relationship is going to be terribly out of balance. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's a really simplistic view of actually what is happening in the collective consciousness on a very grand scale. So why we have to bring in that balance is so we don't have that conflict, because if there is a divine masculine like that, it's oppressive, it's suppressive, it's not going to be balanced. There's no way that it can be balanced and harmonious. So that's why these beautiful women in Australia who are rising up for us, for all of us, on a collective level, is extraordinary and has to be supported, because they know without a shadow of a doubt that this has to happen for there to be peace. It's what I'm passionate about. It does have to start in the home. As we as parents have to teach our children what it means to respect one another. I've got a quick story. I didn't want this to be too long, this video, and I don't think my little boy Rem will mind me telling it, but when he was little, 7, and he still talks about this story, and so do all the kids. We were sitting in the kitchen. We'd just done up our house. It was in 2009, and he was little, and he punched me. I said, Rem, you're not allowed to hit women. In fact, you're not allowed to hit anyone, but particularly a man is not allowed to hit a woman. That's unacceptable behaviour. I said, if you hit me again, you'll get no presents. It was his birthday in 2 days' time. So he looked at me and he just went, and punched me. And I didn't get cross. I just sat down at his level and I said, you know what, Rem? I said, you're not going to get any presents if you hit me, so you're not getting any. Do you understand that? It's like, yep. So his birthday rolled around and, I told the children what I was going to do, and I told my partner at the time, I said, this is what I'm doing. They said, that's pretty rough, that's pretty harsh, as I knew they would. And I said, no, I need to show Remy that he has to respect women. That's the lesson in this. So his birthday rolled around and we had a lovely breakfast and we had pancakes with candles on them, and we had a lovely morning. And then he just said, so where are my presents? And I said, no, you know why you're not getting your presents? I told you that. And he said, right, okay. Just went about his day and it was fantastic, happy, no dramas. And then about 2:00 in the afternoon, I brought down his presents. They were all wrapped. And I said, all right, Rem, come with me. We're hopping in the car and we're going to the wishing tree at Malvern Central. And so we went to the wishing tree. They have this in Australia, probably everywhere, where you can put presents in for the poor. So we had 5 presents and I said, all right, you're turning 8. So go and choose like 5 8-year-olds, 7 to 8-year-olds and put their names on the little presents and put them under the tree. So he did, and there was never a fuss, never a bother, nothing. Tied them on, we put them in the tree, and then I took him to Donut King for hot cinnamon donuts and a coffee. I explained to him again, I said, do you understand why I had to do that? And do you get it? And he said, yeah, I understand. It was that lesson that they still talk about it, and taught all my children a couple of things. That when I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to follow through with it. And this is how you respect women. It's really important as a parent to teach your children, as a mother, if I was told by my daughter that her husband was being abused, verbally abusive, or even worse, I would have to step in. I would have to say something, to her partner or my sons, if they were the ones that were, being the abuser. I would not sit back and say, I'll go and sort it out yourself, because they're my children. They're my responsibility. And I need to teach them what is right and what is wrong, so that when they leave home respecting everyone. So this is, I think, what is happening. This is what I think the whole COVID thing is about. It's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing. And the rise of the divine feminine has to happen. It has been suppressed for so many years. And it starts with these beautiful women trying to take action, being in their divine masculine, saying these are the boundaries that we're taking. We're not taking this anymore. We need safe homes. We need safe schools. We need safe workplaces. We need things in place from the government, on a government level. It has to change in every aspect of our lives. This is why the feminine is rising. This is what, to me, International Women's Day is about. And I do want to just spend a quick moment thanking the women in my life who have really helped me and stood by me for the last 50 years, but in particular the last 3, to my daughter, amazing, beautiful girl that she is, and my sisters, Millie and Melissa, who are extraordinarily strong and are battling their own things at the moment, but always find time to give me the hug and support I need and love. And to my mum, who's extraordinary as well, and has really been very supportive of me in the last few years, and my magnificent aunties, every one of you. They're like my mums. They're extraordinary. I thank you for all your support and all your love. I could not have got through these last few years without you. You're an incredible strength to me and to my beautiful cousins, both masculine, but particularly the feminine today, given the day it is, and especially to Katie and Didge, and Em, who have really, really been there every step of the way, just there with open arms, and sleepovers for Auntie Rach, and dance parties in the kitchen, and to a handful of my beautiful girlfriends, you know who you are, who have been there for me. The divine feminine is a beautiful woman. She is heart-centered and compassionate and very, very wise. And please, we have to treat her with respect, because that's what she deserves. If there is going to be balance and harmony in this world, there has to be that divine balance. So please, on this International Women's Day, I would ask one thing of you all today, is to just pick up the phone and say thank you to the women in your life, to your mum, to your grandmas, to your aunties and sisters, to your nieces. I forgot my nieces, Camille and Willa. I love you both, you know that, with all my heart, and you're amazing, and the most incredible 2 little girls an auntie could ask for. And so, on that note, wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day. There's more to it than what we just see on the surface. By rising, we're shifting the whole collective consciousness into more balance, so that we can achieve peace, which is all we ever want in this world. So thank you for listening. I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and hopefully I won't be too long between videos this time. Okay, lots of love. Mwah.